Hey everybody, welcome to RefTime, powered by RTS and produced by Coraggio Media. I'm Tanya.
And I'm Crane. We'll be covering rules, plays, points of emphasis, and all things official. And we're in the studio again with the great Trevon Maley.
Or Trey.
Oh, Trey.
That works too.
How do they introduce you when you play?
They actually don't even announce my name right at all. They say Trevor or Trevon, stuff like that. It's like, how do you get
mess up Trey?
I don't know that. I don't know how you get Trevor from my name. Like, how do you miss the N from the R?
They don't see the N.
I think people just glance at your name.
Yeah.
That's
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But, you know, a good announcer is going to look at the names prior to the game, practice them, and then have them ready. So tell us about yourself, Mr. Trey, and thanks for joining us, by the way. We appreciate you coming on. So tell us about yourself, where you go to school, your age, all that stuff.
Man, I go to school.
He blow out air like it's going to take a long time.
I know, it's going to take a minute here.
Actually, probably not. I mean, I am homeschooled, so, I go to Ignite Christian Academy.
What is it called?
Ignite Christian Academy.
Ignite.
ICA. Ignite Christian Academy. I don't remember where it's at, but it's we're at a state. 18 years old.
Is that an online thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So homeschool-ish, yeah.
Okay.
I'm 18 years old, play basketball, pretty much it.
So you've been homeschooled all your life?
No. I was homeschooled I got homeschooled after the COVID happened.
Okay.
During COVID, we still had that homeschool thing. I don't know if you guys were definitely still refereeing then. I was pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
We still had that COVID thing going in. I was actually at Snyder, but virtual.
Okay.
So I guess that counted as homeschool because I was able to play for the Hawks while doing that.
Okay.
Oh.
And then after that, when schools were opening up again, I just stick to homeschool and just went to ICA.
So how was that being in high school virtually? I guess a lot of kids did that, right? Because of COVID.
But
Either that or hybrid. What
was hybrid?
Hybrid is basically like they would go to school with the mask and everything, and then other days, for let's just say Mondays through Wednesdays, they go to school. The Thursdays and Fridays, they do everything at home. It's just hybrid.
I do remember
So
that.
a little of both.
Yeah.
So, but you did everything virtually.
So I did everything at home.
So how did that affect you? Because obviously we're not talking to all the kids. We don't know. Every kid is different. So how do you feel like that affected you in your education and your athletic opportunities?
You never thought about that, have you?
No, I have not.
That's a good question.
It is a really good question.
Thank you.
I mean, it didn't really affect me too bad. But then again, I also am used to having like a teacher with me to help me and guide me when I had a question, and I did not have that. And because of that, my grades tend to drop more than normal. So other than that, like athletically wise, I don't know. I never really played like an organized basketball association because I was never on like a basketball team when I went to school. So when I went to the Hawks, it was something like a new experience, which I really enjoyed. And athletically, like athletics in general, I think it helped me a lot.
So when you were at Snyder, you weren't on the basketball team?
No.
You were a freshman that year?
Freshman.
Okay, so that makes sense. So you didn't have an opportunity. Were you going to go out for the team that year?
I was thinking about it, but I decided not to because I don't think I would even play if I did.
Yeah, freshman? You could have played on a freshman team?
Probably, but I'd rather play on varsity if anything.
Yeah.
But you got to start somewhere. You got to earn it.
That is true.
So.
But I'm confused because did you physically go to Snyder?
No.
Okay. But virtually.
No, I was saying prior to everything shutting down, was he planning on, because he was a freshman.
I was planning on going to Snyder before everything shut down.
Oh, physically.
Yes.
Yeah, physically.
Oh, okay.
But everything shut down, so I tended to not go.
Where'd you go prior to high school?
Prior to high school, I went to Blackhawk Middle.
Physically,
yeah.
Okay. Did you enjoy Blackhawk Middle? Now, when you say Blackhawk Middle, you're talking about
not Christian.
Not the
middle,
Christian,
the one next
public school.
Yeah, public school.
Oh,
Public school.
You didn't like it there?
I mean, it was iffy. I mean,
let's be real. It's middle school. Who likes middle school?
it was a lot better than high school, but
it was a lot better than high school.
Kinda, in my opinion. I mean, I had more friends because I lived around there, and all my friends that I had in the elementary was in my middle school.
Okay.
Because I went to Haley for elementary.
Yeah.
And that's close to my house. And when I went to Blackhawk Middle, it was still close to my house, and everyone just went to Blackhawk Middle. That, or they went to I don't even remember where where other places would have
Another
been.
middle school?
Yeah, another middle school that's closer-ish.
Lakeside.
I think so. I think some of them went
Lakeside,
there.
and then Jefferson's out by
Yeah,
us.
Jefferson's
But I
out
don't
that
think
way.
I don't think they feed into Jefferson.
Well,
from-
Jefferson feeds into Northrop,
Mm-hmm.
and Blackhawk feeds into Northside. Is it? Is that
Snyder.
or Snyder?
Well,
No,
I think
Snyder.
it's
Both.
Snyder.
Lane is the other school that feeds into Snyder.
Yes.
So Lane and Blackhawk both
Yeah.
feed into
Mhm.
Snyder. So you were going to, now, did you play basketball at Blackhawk Middle School?
I actually tried out. I made the first. So they had 2 cuts apparently at Blackhawk Middle. I made the first cut,
Mhm.
and the second cut was like a couple days later.
Mhm.
I ended up getting sick before that happened, so I never got a chance to go to that second cut.
Oh.
Mm.
So
So what you're telling me is if you hadn't gotten sick, you'd have made the team.
I'm not saying that,
But there was a high probability.
but there's a
right?
chance. There's a chance.
There's always a chance. Always a chance.
All right, so now you are still homeschooled,
Mm-hmm.
and you are playing on the homeschool basketball team,
Mhm.
the Hawks.
Yep.
And
He's got to let people know who the Hawks are.
Fort Wayne Hawks.
Fort Wayne
Yeah.
Hawks.
What is it?
Homeschool.
People don't know about the Hawks. Tell us about the Hawks.
I mean, there is an article about us on the
Okay.
news that happened a couple months ago when we were in Nationals. That
Okay.
came out on the news. I mean, I don't know where you can find it on the news, but you can find it on the news.
Okay.
So
Well,
So
the reason-
how'd you guys do at Nationals this year?
we actually went to the Sweet 16. We played against the Northside Lions again. We were up by I think 15 points,
Wow.
and then we just blew it.
What made you guys blow it? What do you think?
Did you get comfortable?
Was it the refs?
Was it the
No.
refs?
Was it the refs?
No, it was not. Not this time.
That was only
Oh.
that was only the game we refed.
He said not this time.
That was only the game we
The
refed
game
out
we
at the
refed. And
summit.
we're going to talk about that too. But- so what do you think? Seriously, what do you think? blew it?
Our defense just did not. It just wore out.
Yeah. Now you're known to play defense. What do you mean you wore out?
I'm not saying I wore out.
I knew that's where he was going.
But I mean,
how many
but at the
fouls
same
did
time,
you have though?
I only had I think 2 or 3.
Really? That's
So I
good.
don't really foul much, surprisingly, for the amount of defense that I play. Because my coach played me as probably against the best player on each team.
Okay.
That, and also when we ran our press, which is 12, it's like a 1-2-2.
Okay.
I was always on top, rotating around, trying to get the ball and stuff like that. And I was just surprised that I didn't get as many fouls as I thought I would have. So that's pretty much
It's those
there.
long arms you have. You can
Yes.
just
Pretty much.
reach
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, what are you, 6? How tall are you?
6'4.5", 6'5".
6'4", 6'5". So when you guys, I want the listening audience to hear a little bit more about the homeschooling community, because a lot of people have questions about it. As a player, talk to people about playing on the homeschooling circuit.
The homeschooling circuit is not as different as you think it would be. It's actually quite similar to actual public school basketball.
Okay.
I mean, you also have other people, let's say one of my teammates, Gavin Reynolds, went to Blackhawk Christian.
Okay.
He went to there and came back to the Hawks. He was on the Hawks for a little while, and then decided to go Blackhawk Christian, and then came back to the Hawks.
Why?
I don't know. I think he just said he didn't like it there. I don't know.
Okay.
But
So he was on the Hawks being homeschooled.
yeah,
Then he went to Blackhawk Christian High School.
yeah,
Then came back to homeschool.
yeah.
Interesting.
Which I was surprised that he came back because he was only there for a couple months.
Really?
Yeah, and he
just decided that quick he didn't like it.
apparently, yeah.
Wow.
I was really
Maybe
surprised.
he wasn't going to get very much playing time on the team.
They didn't even start basketball yet. Yeah, he left before basketball even started,
Hmm.
which was surprising to me because I thought he was going to at least try to see.
Right.
And if not, then
So would you say most of the players on your team, well, I'm sure the answer is yes, but most of them enjoy homeschool
yes,
style? Okay.
yes.
And then competition-wise, obviously we officiate you guys. We also officiate public school, private school. So we're out in a lot of the gyms. But competitive-wise, over the last few years, you guys have been fairly competitive to the point where you really your coaches have wanted to compete against some of the public schools. I guess because of the IHSAA
Yeah,
rules and sanctions,
They wouldn't allow it.
they don't allow that. So it's unfortunate because
It is.
you guys would really get to see how good you are or what things you need to work on.
Exactly.
Right?
Like for Blackout Christian, which is a well-known like basketball team.
Mm-hmm.
My dad was thinking about, I don't know if he told you guys this last time or, off this, but he said that he was trying to talk with Blackout Christian's principal and see about us, for the Foreign Hogs, playing against Blackout Christian for like an exhibition match.
Right.
And I
And
think Black Hawk Christian is also IHSA.
Yes,
though.
they are.
So they would be under the same rules.
They would be, but they're also a really good basketball team. So if we played them, we could see where we're at.
Correct. Yeah.
So that's
I
pretty
guess
much it.
the first thing coming to my mind, Trey, is you guys, the players themselves, maybe you guys could just set it up informally. Your buddy that came back to the Hawks, he probably knows some of the players there.
I also know a lot of people on the
Yeah.
Blackout Christian too.
I think you guys just ought to set it
Yeah.
up yourselves.
Maybe you could just do it at the YMCA or something. Play it an offsite
Or you could do it at
or
what-
Sport One or wherever you
What
guys
gym
play.
did you guys use to practice in?
We used to practice Turnstone.
Okay. So you
But-
could probably do it there.
We could do it there. We could probably also see about Sport One and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's also an option.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think you guys ought to, because your father, when he was on the podcast, he was talking about that. You could tell he really wanted to see what you guys could do.
I do
against some
too.
of the better teams.
I really want to see it too.
Well, I think you guys ought to go ahead and set it up informally. Instead of trying to set it up formally, just set it up informally, because all you really want to do is get a measurement. Then again, you guys really want it to be registered. If you beat a Black Hawk, you want everybody to know.
Right.
You want the media team to come out and record it.
I mean, somewhat, but it's more of like if we beat them, then it's more of like, okay, we can compete. You know what I'm saying? It's not like we just want everyone to know. It's more of like, can we compete or can we not?
I don't know if you can, though, because I noticed you used the word if we beat them. He didn't say when we beat them. He said if we beat them.
Well,
So that's-
he's
that's-
also
there's
he's being modest. He's being humble.
Is it that, or is it showing a little bit of doubt?
Hey.
I don't know, maybe. I mean, there is Kellen Pickett, man. That kid is big.
Yeah, he is. But is he as big as the one who went there prior? Caleb first?
I think they're about the same height.
Yeah, but what about muscle and weight? 'Cause
Caleb.
first, yeah, he was weighing in pretty heavy.
But also, Kellen was averaging like 4 or 3 blocks a game. So
Yeah.
that's going to be something. Plus, averaging like almost 17 points, I think, as well.
So you're telling me that he's going to block your shot? Is that what I'm hearing?
No. But I'm not. But for my other teammates, maybe.
Okay.
All right. So you're a junior in school right now. So you're still fairly young, but do you have any career highlights that you can think of that you would like to share with us right now? Anything you can think of that is a career highlight for you? Something.
Man, I really got to think about this one. I don't really know if there's a career highlight, more of like a career game. Could that count?
Yeah.
Because there was a time where it was last year. It was against the HA Firebirds. It was a conference championship game that we had. I actually did really well. I was 9 for 15 from 3. Had
That's
36
really
points.
well.
So that's just a highlight that I would like to just say. I mean,
That's,
other than that, my games are like 12 points and under.
So
that's pretty good.
So do you look at your success in terms of points?
No, I look at more of like the impact that I have.
Okay.
Because it wasn't just the points that I scored. We were down that whole game. So we were down by like 10 points, 8 points the whole game. And just the impact that I had, it wasn't just that I scored that money, because some of my teammates got riled up from that too. From me making those threes. They just started
They
riling up.
started to get excited.
And they started playing defense. They started getting down more and started, like, you know what I'm saying,
Nice.
playing their game the way I know how they can play.
So did you
end
guys
up-
win
Yeah.
that game?
We
Sorry.
did. We won 92 or 91 to 82.
That's a high scoring
That's
game.
a good comeback.
That's high scoring for high school.
Yeah, it is.
Well, high school don't normally score that high.
Yeah, because I was even just my 36 points alone was like the second guy that scored was our Sam newcomer number 1. He had 20 something, so it wasn't like I scored all the points.
Right. 2 guys in double digits. That's pretty good.
And then we had another Gavin Reynolds who I think had over 10 points. Don't remember exactly. I think it was 15 maybe.
So was that that was in terms of the thing that stands out most in your career. Is that the first thing that comes to mind?
Yeah, the impact that everyone had in that game.
Okay. Now, your dad seems to think that you're a better defender than a scorer. Would you agree with that? Now, he didn't say that. That's just the impression I got from talking to him. It sounds to me like he thinks you're a strong defender, and he seems to put more emphasis on that. And him being a coach, I guess he sees that.
I'm a defender, but at the same time, I can score the ball if I need to. There's more.
Which one do you enjoy most, offense or defense?
Defense.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
I enjoy defense more because it's not more of like when I think of defense, I think of like a mind game kind of ish. I like just like because my length loves to throw people off, and the way I play defense. You guys see me play defense. I'm low and I'm long and lengthy. People get scared of that, and I love doing it because I want to see if they want to drive or just shoot over me or something or pass the ball.
So do you get to guard some guards too?
Oh, I guard everyone.
Oh yeah.
I've guarded guards this season. I've guarded forwards. I guarded a center.
So your team normally puts you on whoever their most effective offensive player is.
One of the because Northside had two of them, so that was Joey Houston and then also Duke Harness, which I was on Duke for some of the games, while Gavin was on Joey. Then we switched it in the middle of some of the games. So it's like it depends on the team, because Northside Lions had two good players.
Okay.
Other teams had more likely one.
Right, on the high school level.
Yeah, so when the teams that have one, I guard the best player, but kind of the more effective player.
So you think you have good foot speed?
It's not more foot speed because I know I got to work on that a lot more. It's more just the length because if I get beat, it's just that first quick step that I have that I can just get back and either block it.
Okay.
You feel like you have pretty good like anticipation, where you can kind of see the play developing and read it.
Probably.
Sometimes I think a little too fast when it comes to that. Like if I'm on the offensive end, passing wise, I can make a turnover because I'm thinking that hey, he's gonna go over there, and then he doesn't, and then stuff like that.
Yeah, that's part of the game though.
So do you play any other sports besides basketball?
Not anymore. I used to play football, but I kind of got rid of that when I get homeschooled. So
okay. So we got to talk a little bit about officiating because that's what the show is based about. So as far as officials, what pet peeves do you have as far as officiating games or things that have happened?
I really don't have any.
Oh, don't say that.
I don't.
No.
You don't have anything?
I have refed you. I know you have.
That was in the game, though. That was in the game. So you don't. There's nothing about rules or anything that you. Okay.
It's not about rules. I mean, that was in a game, though. That's a little different.
Yeah.
But I don't have really any pet peeves.
Okay.
Even after the game, when the game's all said and done, I really. At that point, I don't really care what the call was because it's like it's not gonna change nothing.
I heard somebody recently tell me that I don't know if I shared this with you. They were interviewing Kobe Bryant years ago, and the lady said, "Kobe, we've had reports that you read the rule book, the NBA rule book, at the beginning of every year." And she says, "Is that true?" And he looked at her real strange, and he goes, "Yeah, why wouldn't I?" And she said, "Well, why do you read the rule book?" And he goes, "This is my profession. I need to know what's going on, every aspect of it. I know where the officials are. I know what they should be calling. I know when
whose
they call
call
something,
it is.
whose call it is." He said he knows all that stuff. So what do you think about that comment from Kobe Bryant?
Legendary comment. I mean,
you've heard him say that before?
I think I've seen it on Instagram.
Okay. How did you respond when you first heard it?
I mean, I didn't really respond in a way. I just felt it more like right there because it's like, if I can't really access the rule book for homeschool, but if I could, I would like to do that because it does change constantly.
Actually,
well,
I do have it.
The homeschool rule book, I don't know that they actually have a homeschool rule book.
I know.
They don't.
But
they go by high school rules.
But they go by the high school rules for the most part. There are some things that they sidestep.
Yeah.
Like, say, for instance, you guys are home one night and you're wearing your white jerseys. Some of you guys will come out in black undersleeves, which is actually illegal in the NFHS rule book. But most of us as officials, we know that you guys are homeschooled, and so we just
don't really
we
care.
just don't enforce it.
Yeah.
Because you're not sanctioned by the IHSAA. So, but other than that, we will go, fouls are still, fouls. Fouls are fouls, travels are travel, double,
Yeah.
And so, as far as the rule book, which he just realized he has the case book and the officials manual, but not the rule book. But
There's
we
actually
can get
3.
you a rule book.
Yeah, there's actually 3 books. And a lot of people don't know that, but in high school officiating, we have 3 books that we actually use. Yeah. That surprises you. Huh?
Yeah.
That's a lot of books.
Yeah.
That's a lot of books.
Basketball has a lot of rules.
That
It
is
does.
true.
What we find, and one of the reasons we like to do this show is to educate people on the fact that there are a lot of rules. Test question.
Well, and then I want to make this comment, though, real quick, too. So there's different levels of officiating, right? So there's lower level, like elementary, middle school.
Of course.
Then we have JV varsity. And then we get into college, semi-pro, pro. So at each level, the rule books are different. Well, not necessarily the elementary level, but in the officials manual, it talks about how we're supposed to dress, how we interact with coaches, players, ADs, that kind of stuff. But it also,
what time we're supposed to get to the game.
Yep.
What we're supposed to do once we get there.
but lower level, everything below varsity, JV and below, is all what we call 2-person mechanics. We have only 2 officials on those games. Now in homeschool, that's all you guys ever use. Pretty much. Every now and then you'll have a 3-person crew.
The only time that happens is if it's like a big game.
Super competitive game.
Or like a championship type game.
And
stuff
do
like
you
that.
know why you guys only use 2 officials?
Nope.
It's
Probably money.
finances. It's finances.
But
They can't afford 3.
but they can. They just haven't budgeted that in. We're talking about that. But in 2-person, when there's only 2 officials, obviously we can't see as much, right? So there's going to be things that we're going to call that we might miss that, whatever.
That happens.
And so our coverage area, as far as officials are concerned, is different in a 2-person mechanic game than it is when we have 3 people out on the court. And so this book, the officials manual, actually goes through that 2-person mechanics and then 3-person mechanics. So that's stuff that, players, coaches, they don't know that kind of stuff. Like they think, oh, well, you're standing right there. That's your call. That's not my area, which, we don't say that.
But I'm not supposed to be looking.
Yeah, but that's
Exactly.
not where I'm supposed to be looking type of
Exactly.
thing. So,
No,
it's just interesting that, that's in the officials manual, not necessarily in the rule book. So,
And I was going to say that game that we did, that last game we did with you guys, your dad was on the podcast and we were talking about that. And we've had many more conversations
Right.
besides just on the
Yes.
podcast. But one of the things we were telling him is, I know your team, he was saying your team didn't really like the way we officiated that game. That's fine. We're okay with that. But we were telling him that 2 reasons that might be the case is, number one, we had just finished doing 2 games using 2 officials on the side courts, and I think the side courts are a little shorter.
They
just
are.
a
They are.
little, because
At the
the
Summit?
main one is the college size
College
court.
level court.
Yeah, at the
Yeah.
Summit,
Right.
the side courts are a lot shorter.
So we had just done 2 games, and when we do our games, we're not like a lot of officials you might be used to. We don't walk; we actually run with you guys.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know that.
Yes,
We
I
hustle.
know that very well.
So then when we got on the main court, which is a bigger college court, which we're used to doing college, but not after 2 games.
Yeah.
Then we only had 2 officials on a bigger court, and it was a championship game, and you guys were still sprinting. And so there was a lot of things that we probably missed because we're used to working 3 officials on a game like
Right.
that. And so, and you may or may not have noticed, Trey, but the way our positioning is on 3-person. Well, have you played in a lot of 3?
I have. It's like you guys just do like a nice. Isn't it like a circle-ish?
It is, but let's say this is the court, the half court. The basket's here, so you have 1 official out here, close to the 10-second line. You have 1 official down here on the
And
baseline.
the other official over there.
The
Yeah.
free throw line extended.
Yeah.
So where the free throw line is, that official will be moved maybe 2 or 3 feet.
This guy watches baseline. Back at that, right?
Well, this official has the baseline.
Yeah.
So if the ball goes out, even down here, but if a foul occurs over here, this official's eyes is not over there. This official's eyes is going to be on the lane and then over here,
To the
inside
3-point line.
inside the 3-point line. That's his jurisdiction. Well, actually, not even
Or hers.
hers, but not even the whole lane. Just halfway through the lane,
Right.
and that's their jurisdiction. That's still what we call PCA, primary coverage area.
Until if say I'm on the baseline, say the ball gets swung over there, then I could
Should
potentially rotate over.
Yeah.
I could, transition over, which would push this official up, and this official would come slide down over here.
Basically, just fill your position.
Yes.
Right, but we move like I guess like a yo-yo or a rubber band. We kind of move.
A rubber band, yeah, we use that
We
expression.
move according to where the strong side, what we call strong side. So if there's a lot of players over here, the ball over here, a post move, we need an official over here to get into the post position.
Yeah.
People don't know that these are things we have to do. Now in two-person, you got one official out here, one down here.
Yep, and we have a lot
Something
more
happens
area.
over here, this official has to be able to call that. Well, they're way out here, so they got to step down and get that. And there's a lot of things that can be missed. But here's your first.
All right, we get one
test
question. One question.
Read it out loud. What do you got?
There's no such thing as a over-the-back foul, true or false.
Did you and your dad talk about that? Because we asked him the same question.
Not really.
Do you know the answer to that?
Pay attention to the wording.
There's no such thing as
That's a false.
It's false?
Yeah.
Okay. He said, yeah.
Well, yeah.
It's false.
Why?
Because over the back is over the back.
So you're 6'4", I'm 5'4". Can you go over my back and take the ball from me?
If you're boxing me out, I can't.
What if there's no contact?
Then it's free game.
But you just said it's over the back foul.
So
Depending on what it is.
if
Or
I
if
have
you're talking about boxing me out. Oh, okay. Never mind.
No, go ahead.
Yeah.
No. Okay.
But
never
she
mind.
made a good
think-
point.
no.
She's 5'4", you're 6'4",
Right.
so
Yeah.
if you reach over her back, take the ball. And I mean, you reach completely over
Yeah,
her
say
back.
I have the ball like right
And
here.
maybe there's just this much space between you guys, but you reach over and take the ball away from her. Is that a foul?
There was actually a couple weeks ago when I was doing had an AU tournament in Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
Actually was in a game where that happened, and they called a foul for that.
On you?
No, it was on me. It was on my teammate,
Okay.
and I was like,
You reached over your teammate's back?
no. My teammate reached over the other guy's back to get the ball and got the ball.
Okay.
And there was no contact?
There was no contact. He just reached over and grabbed it
Okay.
and just pulled it out of his hand.
Okay.
And the ref called a foul on that because then again, the guy was kind of like flopping a little bit. But
So he put some Hollywood acting into it.
yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
So he basically suckered the official is what you're saying.
Yeah.
And that happens.
So
That happens.
So if that happens, though, and what we're saying is that your teammate did that, should that have been a foul?
No.
Right. So over the back is not
No.
a foul.
Now,
It's
when
the,
your dad played and when I played, reaching over somebody's back wasn't a foul. It was a foul whether you contacted or not.
there used to be an over the back call.
Yes.
It didn't matter whether there was contact or not.
And the signal was this
This.
from an official. That meant over the back. Well, that call is gone away. It doesn't exist
Now
anymore.
there has to be contact.
Yes.
So if you come in and you come over my back, but your body pushes me forward, and then you take the ball,
That's over the back.
that's a push.
There's
no-
no such thing as over the back.
No
That's called
such thing.
displacement.
Yep.
Displacement.
There's got to
If
be
I
a push or a hold.
So if
Okay.
you displace the opponent to gain an unfair advantage, that's a foul.
Yep.
Okay.
It has to be contact. Used to be it didn't have to be contact. You just couldn't reach over the back. Now there has to be contact.
And
Okay.
sometimes
And-
a lot
and
of times
unfair
you guys
advantage.
a lot of times you guys think, well, I'm clean up here, but
But
it's
your body.
but your body went into them and displaced the individual. Or what I'll see sometimes that players don't realize they're doing is they have one hand down here in
They're
the back
rebounding and they're pushing.
and they're doing this,
Yeah.
and they think, well, it's clean, I've got it up here.
But the player in front of you is like this.
Yeah.
You know,
You know.
and we can tell when his back get arched, or if he jumps up and then he moves 2 feet,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
contact.
Yeah.
So a lot of that's one of the things that a lot of players don't realize. What they're doing with one hand and what they're doing with the other is a lot of times what we are looking for.
Okay.
We're looking for those type of things.
So he got the answer wrong.
He
So
did get the answer
did he get
wrong,
some candy in
but
there?
yeah, we're
You're a
gonna-
mom. She's a mom. She's gonna give you
I
candy
am.
anyway.
He can have a treat. Oh yeah, Rice Krispies. But
Yeah, so we like to ask those kind of questions because there's a lot of people who love the game of basketball, but there's a lot of rules.
And we're trying to
A lot of
educate people,
rules.
especially parents and fans, who want to yell from the stands over the back. There's no such thing.
Or they yell,
So,
let them play. Wait a minute, we're just on at that end.
And you wanted
to
me to call a
for 'em.
foul.
Now you want me to let them play.
That's all the time in AAU.
Yeah, I'm confused.
so we're going to give a shout out to your trainer. You were telling me earlier who works you out.
David Goodwell.
David Goodwill. And we're trying to get him on the show. We've had his wife.
And
Trying to get him on the
David's
show.
been a friend of ours for years, and he's
Yep.
probably one of the best trainers
Yes.
that we've seen in the area.
Yep.
I've been training with him since I was in elementary.
Yeah,
Yep.
David's a
So-
really good trainer.
And he trained our daughter,
Yeah.
and he trains both boys and girls. So he trained. Let me rephrase that. He trains athletes.
Yes.
Let's
Right.
put it that way.
Yes.
So
And he knows how to communicate with athletes.
yes,
So my last question for you, Trey, is where are you going to go when you graduate? When you graduate high school, what are your plans?
I want to go play basketball somewhere. That's
Okay.
my plan. But if I can't,
You just want to go across season play? Is that what you're telling us?
something. I just want to play.
you just want to
Okay.
play.
But I just got to get my grades up first. You know what I'm saying? Just have my grades up and then maybe see where my grades are at. Because in my freshman year, I did not, my grades were terrible.
Yeah, but in high school, the freshman grades don't count.
Yeah.
In terms of a transcript, and this is serious.
Plus, that was COVID year.
Right.
So I think there's still a lot of exception when they're going back looking at that. So don't let that discourage you,
Okay.
and really go
Right.
go forward.
Well,
Because
It's
on
just-
my GPA, that's like my freshman year counted on my
Yeah.
GPA, which is,
It shouldn't. Not on your transcript.
it's on my transcript for some odd reason.
In terms of your GPA, only the
Okay.
when
10
the
through
colleges
12.
are looking at you, they're not
They
looking
won't
at your
count that.
freshman year.
Okay, okay.
I'd
So the
really
last
almost
3
think they're
years.
not looking at your senior year either, because they know the senior year. I mean, they are. They want you to get. They're looking at that sophomore, junior year, but
I think it depends on the college, but most
Yeah.
of them are going to write off the 9th grade year.
and maybe part of your senior year because
Yeah.
they know half of the year is like,
Yeah.
So that might be good. That might be good.
But that doesn't mean don't work hard. Work
course.
hard, get those grades up.
Of course.
So what
You
is your
know.
GPA right now?
My GPA right now would probably be like a 2.1.
On a 4? On a 4 scale?
Yeah, we got to get your grades up, bro.
Yeah.
But with this year so far, my lowest grade at the moment is like an 88.
Okay.
That's
So
good.
at the end of this year, my GPA might go up.
It should.
It should.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you focus, you say you're a junior this year.
Mhm.
If you focus this year is almost over.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you can do a lot during the summer too.
Yeah, that's
true. That can help you.
Yeah. And I would suggest you do, because colleges nowadays are concerned about the GPAs, because that determines whether or not they want to let you attend there.
Right.
So you got, for the last question, you got some schools you're looking at?
I honestly, no, not really.
Okay.
But I might be looking at it pretty soon. I'm
Okay.
thinking about.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay. Cool.
All right.
Well, we appreciate you coming on the
Yeah,
show.
thank
you
you
for
so
having
much.
me.
It's
It
been
was
fun.
fun.
Yeah, some good things to say.
Yeah.
You have a good time?
A little bit. Still tired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But other than that, I had a great time.
So David working you out too hard, huh?
Maybe.
Yeah, call Dave and tell him to work him a little harder.
Right. All right, so we're going to wrap up here, but just to wrap things up, just want to remind you guys that we do have the Hoosier 3-on-3 tournament coming up July 12th, and that's going to be at Turnstone. We do have boys and girls divisions, 3rd grade through 12th.
Get your teams ready, because the tournament's
Yep.
going to be, it's upon us, and it's going to be here before you know it. It's less than 2 months away.
Yep, and
So-
get registered before the spots are filled up.
Yep.
So,
Yep. So get with us. And then the second thing is, those of you who are interested in looking at officiating, we do still have the reftrainingschool.com
Yep.
going on. So RTS, Referee Training School, looking for reftrainingschool.com. You go there and you can apply to get trained in basketball and volleyball. We've been doing that for a number of years. We kind of know what we're doing. So we
A little
need
bit.
people, and we want you guys to come out and join us. Other than that, Mr. Maley, appreciate you joining us, man.
Thank
It's
you
good
for
to
having
have
me.
you on. All right.
thank
Thanks
you
a
very
lot.
much.
Thank you.
And we will see you guys next time on RefTime. Thanks for joining us. Thanks again for listening to RefTime, powered by RefTrainingschool.com and Hoosier3on3.com. Produced by Coraggio Media, RefTime is recorded in WELT Studios in beautiful downtown Fort Wayne, Indiana.
To join RTS, visit reftrainingschool.com. Please like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Until next time.